We were wrong about you. Not slightly wrong. Completely wrong. We thought you were falling apart. We thought you were drifting. We thought silence meant weakness and isolation meant failure. But heaven was watching something else entirely. You weren't breaking. You were being separated. Chosen one, this is not a motivational message. This is a correction. For years, people misread your season. They called it delay. They called it confusion. They called it punishment. But God calls it alignment. You see, when God prepares someone for visibility, He first removes their audience. When He prepares someone for authority, He first strips them of applause. When He prepares someone for impact, He allows misunderstanding to become your only companion. Because clarity is born in isolation. You were not ignored. You were hidden. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were unfinished. And heaven does not expose what hell could still exploit. There were moments you begged God to explain Himself. Moments you prayed harder than ever and heard nothing. Moments when obedience felt unrewarded and faith felt expensive. But silence was not absence. It was precision. God was editing your life, removing people who would have clapped for you too early, removing comforts that would have made you settle, removing identities that no longer fit the calling ahead of you. We were wrong to think you were behind. You were being repositioned. Because chosen ones don't move like the crowd. They disappear, then re-enter at the right altitude. Let this settle. The season that almost broke you was the season that qualified you. You weren't overlooked. You were under construction. And God does His deepest work where no one is watching. That's why they couldn't understand your discipline, your restraint, your refusal to explain yourself. They wanted a version of you that was accessible. God was building a version of you that was dangerous to darkness. So yes, that we were wrong. We thought your humility meant insecurity. We thought your silence meant defeat. We thought your withdrawal meant fear. But God was teaching you something most never learn: how to move without validation. Because the calling on your life will require decisions that won't be popular, paths that won't be understood, and obedience that won't be applauded. And if you had learned to live off approval, you would never survive the assignment. This is why God allowed betrayal without explanation. Why He allowed people you helped to disappear. Why He allowed prayers to be answered slowly. He was training your nervous system for authority. You don't lead from emotion. You lead from conviction. And conviction is forged when comfort is removed. There were nights you questioned yourself. Moments you wondered if you missed God entirely. Seasons when you replayed conversations and asked, "Was I wrong?" No, you were early. And early always looks like wrong to people who can't see the full picture. Chosen one, your delay wasn't denial. It was distinction. God does not rush vessels He intends to pour much into, because weight requires capacity. And capacity is built through endurance, not excitement. That's why you've been walking with fewer people lately. Why your tolerance for shallow conversation disappeared. Why certain environments suddenly felt loud, heavy, draining. Your spirit outgrew them, not in arrogance, in assignment. And here is the part most people never understand. When God upgrades your calling, He temporarily downgrades your comfort, because comfort creates attachment. And attachment can become disobedience. So God broke attachments, not to punish you, but to free you. Free you from needing to be understood. Free you from explaining your obedience. Free you from shrinking to keep peace. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand apart. And that comes with loneliness. But hear this clearly. Loneliness is not rejection when God is involved. It is protection. Protection from distractions. Protection from premature exposure. Protection from people who would have benefited from you without honoring you. That's why your circle got smaller. Your trust got sharper. Your discernment got stronger. You didn't become colder. You became clearer. And clarity threatens people who thrive in confusion. We were wrong to label your season as loss. It was pruning. God removed what could not go where you are going. And pruning always hurts, but it always produces fruit. You are not behind schedule. You are on divine timing. And divine timing doesn't ask permission from human expectations. This is why doors close suddenly. Why plans collapsed without warning. Why what you thought was permanent turned temporary. God interrupted you to redirect you, because the path you were on was good. But the path ahead requires greatness. And greatness demands solitude, discipline, and obedience when it doesn't make sense. You didn't imagine the shift. You didn't overthink the distance. You didn't become too much. You became too aligned. And alignment exposes misalignment around you. That's why resistance increased when you chose peace. Why criticism followed your growth. Why people misunderstood your boundaries. Boundaries offend those who benefited from your lack of them, but God honors them. Because you cannot carry authority while carrying unnecessary weight. And chosen one, this is where everything changes. Because now the season of misunderstanding is ending. Not everyone will apologize. Not everyone will admit they were wrong. Not everyone will understand what God was doing in you. But they will feel it. They will notice your calm, your clarity, your certainty. They will sense something has shifted, even if they can't explain it. Because you are no longer seeking permission. You are walking in assignment. An assignment doesn't need validation. It only needs obedience. Now listen carefully. The reason this message found you is not coincidence. You were not scrolling randomly. You were not just curious. This moment was scheduled. Because God is about to reveal something through you. Not just to you. And this is where most chosen ones misunderstand the next phase. The preparation season was internal. The next season is impact. But impact does not arrive loudly. It arrives decisively. You are stepping into a phase where your presence will speak louder than your explanations ever did. People will feel convicted without you correcting them. They will rethink their choices without you confronting them. They will sense authority without you announcing it. This is not ego. This is alignment. God is about to use you as a mirror, and mirrors don't argue. They simply reflect truth. Some will be drawn to you. Others will distance themselves suddenly. Both reactions are confirmation. Because when God increases the weight on your life, everything unaligned either submits or leaves. This is why God waited. If He had elevated you earlier, your compassion would have turned into compromise. Your patience would have turned into permission. Your kindness would have been abused. But now, you can love without leaking, serve without shrinking, stand without explaining. You learned the difference between being humble and being silent when you should speak. And God trusts you now. Here is what is changing. You will stop chasing clarity. Clarity will chase you. You will stop forcing doors. Doors will recognize you. You will stop proving your value. Value will become obvious. Not because you changed your personality, but because you stopped resisting your calling. There is a seriousness on your life now. Not heaviness, authority. You've noticed it. You don't tolerate nonsense the way you used to. You don't argue to be understood anymore. You don't explain your boundaries. This is not arrogance. This is maturity. God had to mature you before He could move you. Because where you are going, emotional reactions would be liabilities. You are about to be trusted with influence, and influence is dangerous in the hands of the unhealed. That's why healing came first. The tears you never told anyone about, the disappointment you carried quietly, the prayers you whispered when hope felt irresponsible. None of it was wasted. God was stabilizing you. So when recognition comes, it doesn't intoxicate you. So when opposition comes, it doesn't derail you. So when success comes, it doesn't own you. Many people want elevation. Few survive it. You will. Because you no longer need applause to obey. Now hear this part slowly. The people who misjudged you, the ones who underestimated you, the ones who walked away when you needed them, they are not your enemies. They were contributors. God used their absence to introduce you to yourself. Had they stayed, you would have stayed smaller. Had they supported you early, you might have mistaken approval for purpose. God allowed misunderstanding so you could learn self-trust under His voice. That's why you don't panic anymore. That's why chaos doesn't shake you. That's why silence doesn't scare you. You learned how to stand alone with God. And that changes everything. Because now when God sends people, they add to you. They don't define you. This next phase will feel different. Not rushed, not forced, not anxious. It will feel clear. You will know when to speak. You will know when to move. You will know when to wait. And for the first time, waiting won't feel like punishment. It will feel like confidence. Because you trust timing now. God is also correcting how others see you. Without you defending yourself. Without you campaigning. Without you explaining your side. Truth doesn't need marketing. It needs time. And time is exposing what words never could. Some people will realize too late. Others will reconnect with respect. A few will remain confused. Let them. Your assignment does not require universal understanding. It requires obedience. And obedience will put you in rooms you once prayed for quietly. But when you arrive, you won't announce your story. Your posture will tell it. Calm where there used to be anxiety. Discernment where there used to be emotion. Peace where there used to be striving. This is what authority looks like. Not loud, not dramatic. Grounded, God is not raising you to impress people. He is positioning you to impact systems, mindsets, cycles, patterns, starting with your own bloodline. What tried to stop you will stop with you, not through rebellion, but through discipline, not through anger, but through clarity, not through proving, but through consistency. That is why darkness resisted you quietly, because darkness recognizes threat before people do, and you survived the resistance. So now hear this final truth. You were never late. You were never forgotten. You were never wrong for feeling